You know how like supervillains do like it's alliteration in some cartoons. Anyway.
Anyway.
Just had to hydrate the throat. The throat. The throat. Listen, it's been a long day. And like,
so guys,
as long as still having to do
this
these
has been a mad week. And not to bring it up myself, but we had a Mim's birthday, which was my our first Mim's birthday.
Oh yeah. Yes, we did. How young are you now?
We're not gonna disclose that.
We're not gonna do that on the public forum. Okay, it's okay.
It's all the same age, like all the same age.
I'm sorry. We have fans.
Yeah, no, we don't. Not like that. The same OnlyFans. They ain't googling us like that. They don't have my social security number and shit.
Cancelled.
Cancelled. Excuse me, folks.
I said cancelled.
Let's not embarrass ourselves in front of company.
Oh yes.
We have guests today, don't we?
We have a new face. We have a new face to come in and be our guest.
And shit, look at the face.
Marianna.
We have Marianna
taking off.
In.
Oh, hello, welcome. This is Mims. I am Marianna, and this is a pleasure for me to be in your company because we all know that you paid quite a lot to have me here, but it's fine.
Let's move on. Stop it, behave. Everyone behave.
Michael came in.
Did I just get made redundant or something?
Michael came in like Michael Jackson for his final tour. I'm tired. I'm actually tired. I'm so tired.
We love the energy. Yes. Also, Marianna, welcome.
Marianna, it seems like you think you're getting paid, but I'm afraid that.
Are you trying to? Okay. Right, we're gonna have to discuss this after the show.
Yeah, we might be able to give you discounted merch.
What's your merch?
This space.
Where is our merch? Merch
pending.
Merch where?
Merch pending.
Bro, I'm sponsored by Puma right now. That's how deep it is.
No, you're not.
You're not.
I'm not, but it feels like it. I'm out here with the Puma thing on my chest. I'm out here like.
We don't want a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. So might have to just hold on.
Yes, because then look at that YouTube channel with 4 people. We gotta take them for everything they have. They're wearing our t-shirts.
As you can see, it is now gone. It is just a blank t. Anyway, here we are with our special guest number 2. We are thankful to have her here, and she's going to be giving some of her worldly wisdom and expertise on today's topics. What are today's topics? What are we here to talk about? Miss Marianna, since you're a guest, do you want to?
Oh, of course, I will explain fully. We're going to be talking about mental health, the rabbit hole in the mind, artificial intelligence. Are they watching us? Social media. Okay, anyway, stop around this type of topics. These type of topics.
Okay, thank you for that, Marianna. Why don't we dive right into that rabbit hole that you were speaking?
I would like to climb back up.
Yeah,
please.
As we're approaching the end of lockdown, things seem to be opening up. It's been a wild year and a half, let's say. And it's kind of interesting to I definitely have noticed I'm planning my the coming weeks, and things are pretty much opened up in London right now. And I'm literally just sitting let me plan out my week, but I need at least a 2-day gap between any motive to just recuperate because my head ain't ready.
You're getting that social anxiety.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I don't think it's social anxiety as such. I think it's just energy. Socialization has been in the confines of a computer screen, and to sit and make eye contact with someone and actually be like, yeah, I've got 2 hours that I need to sit with this person and make conversation. It's like, what do I talk to them about?
Yeah.
To the computer screens, man.
Yeah,
especially when you can see your face in the corner.
And she's a comedian.
Here's the thing.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Here's my question. Who preferred the computer thing, or who wants to be face-to-face? Which ones? Or have you just become used to it, or do you prefer it?
Definitely a case of being used to it. But I think more than anything, coming out of lockdown, when you spent that much time with yourself, one thing I discovered is that I'm not as extroverted as I thought I was, or as much as others may have been led to believe. I identify much more of an ambivert, and I just feel like coming out of lockdown, I really felt that life is too short to keep doing things that you don't want to do. So yes, I know before we spoke of, when I come out of lockdown, I'm never gonna turn down an invitation again. I'm gonna be at every motive. I'll never take it for granted. Time for me was the lesson. How I spend my time and the best use for it, and energy as well. And when I was out of work yesterday, someone, I won't name anything, but she was talking to a friend over lockdown, over the phone, over Zoom like this, perfectly fine. Excellent. Bantering. Same way how we banter, it's jokes, it's cussing, it's this, that, and the third. Met up in person. For some reason, the jokes weren't translating the same. Some offense was being taken. There was the awkward silences. Those moment of silences that just last. And then I spoke to them yesterday and she was like, I don't think I'm hanging out with them anymore. It's just not the same. And I can understand, I completely comprehend that. And now on this side of things, with my side of things, I'm just much more comfortable with saying no. Before it was easy, it was no. Because COVID. Why? Because COVID. It was that simple. Now it's just because I don't want to. Because I was out yesterday. Because I just saw you. Why do I need to see you again? So soon? Because the bank balance, it has not regenerated just yet. Any reason. And you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie. Sometimes like, I'm sorry, I had something up with the family. There's a couple of things that you can pull off the shelf that I don't never have anything to say if I miss something due to family. But mental health is health. If you don't want to go and you're going to put yourself in a anxious position where you're going to be triggered, where you're going to be stressed, where you're going to continue to burn out your energy for some false sense of obligation, stay home, rest.
There's definitely that balance of, yes, I want to hang out with people, keep myself busy, do stuff, and then there's the like, you know what, actually, I just want to stay in bed and watch Netflix. Also, the weather's been really nice, so I'm like, I need to get out, but I don't want to go out on my own because I've spent an entire year on my own. I'd quite like to be able to go just sit in the park. Like at the moment, my kind of idea of a nice motive is to like sit outside, either in someone's garden or in the park or something like that, just with a bunch of the nice people with, and I don't even, I can bring food from home. I don't have to go out and buy food. Can maybe like buy some drinks or something and just sit in the park and do that. And that can last hours if you wanted to. But no one's obligated to like actually be, put some music on and just, bring a book, but just sit with the company of those people. That sounds like a really nice idea. But at the same time, it's like,
is it daunting? Like, was it immediately daunting, when lockdown restrictions eased and all that stuff?
I've been seeing people though, like, I went to the school with co-workers. I feel like I didn't get the rest that everyone got from socializing with people face to face. And more time, it was a case of what I realized is when lockdown opened up, is that it's almost like I have too many people in my life. And
imagine, can't relate.
And Moni, one thing I also realized, I hate people. I actually don't like people.
Yeah.
I really like not even in the worst possible way, because I know that these talk about, what about me, get offended. Yeah. When I say I hate people, I don't hate the personalities or how they are. I just hate having to interact with them. Especially when it's every single day. I come home, my mom's here. of the individuals hurt. That's my mom. She will be number one priority. And then now
No,
everything's
really
open. I'm
must be
socializing
nice.
with friends. No, it's not. Not for
But
me.
no, I'm just saying, like, it must be nice in the sense of you haven't had that same, like, isolating experience that other people have had, in the sense of, like, you've had a job, you've been kind of going out and doing stuff. And yes, I understand it's tiring and it's a different experience and it's a different type of, like,
Can I finish why
the
it's not nice?
adjustment.
For me, I needed that. I had it for like a little bit, and for me, it was nice. What I realized is, as much as Kieran's saying I'm ambivert, I'm very much an introvert. But the problem is I'm a people's person, meaning that I get along with people, even though I don't necessarily want to be with people, which is kind of like counterintuitive. So when there's this thing of like, it must be nice. Yeah, it was nice to a certain extent. But then once you realize, because during lockdown I was fine because they gave me a little bit of balance because I'm going to school and coming home, I have that. But as soon as everything's opens up, it's like a culture shock because now I'm like, it's like overdoing what was already a nice balance. It's too much of a good thing. Like, if anyone during lockdown had the experience that I had, it probably would have been nice during lockdown. But it's like the sort of what happens post-lockdown. Where do I go from here? Do I need to cut people from my life? I don't really want to cut people from my life. That's not very nice. Unless, you know, they need cut from my life.
Yeah, I think and it kind of ties into the mental health thing. I feel like my expectations of people have rocketed in the sense of I know that some people have been victim to this in the last few weeks, but in that sense of like, if 2 years of not seeing you and there's zero effort, because I'm like, oh, if I've got plans to see you, I'm gonna want to see you sooner, but I know that I'm definitely seeing you on X date. That's cool. But if it's like a struggle to actually be like, I'm giving you the bare minimum, I will come to your house, I will do this in your ends, and this is still a no. I'm like, well, clearly 2 years apart didn't make you miss me, if that makes sense. Like, and it's like, is it worth it when I've got limited energy and limited time to dedicate to people, and I only want to spend X amount of time with people as it is? Like, I'm not flooding my time with people that it's just going to end up being a tiring and unenjoyable experience for both parties, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the drainage, right? You have to be able to balance all of it. But then it's hard because now you come out into a lockdown. But yeah, it's literally been over a year since the beginning of last lockdown. You add that onto last summer. It's been a long time since you've seen a lot of certain people.
Yeah. At the same time, we're going to have to just ease ourselves back into it. There's going to be a lot of me just doing stuff by myself. And that sounds odd considering we spent the last year, majority of us being in some sort of isolation by ourselves, away from certain people. But like, if we're going to do this right for everyone's mental health, we're going to have to ease our way back into socializing, because it's a cultural shock I don't think everybody is fully ready for, you know?
We need to normalize that though. We need to normalize this idea of doing things ourselves. I want to go to see a film, or I want to go to a gallery exhibition.
I've been doing that, I can't lie.
I want to go to I don't know why, I just feel like, oh, let me take myself out for dinner. Like, that needs to be normalized.
100%.
Because then I just like the idea of, see, that's the thing, I've got this perception in my head of like, that's just not something I want to do.
This is what I mean, I'm an undiagnosed introvert.
Telling myself, if I want a Nando's and I'm sitting there like going through my phone being like, okay, I know that Darrius and Kieran are working on a Wednesday evening, they're not going to be available for dinner, but I really want to go out for dinner on this Wednesday evening, and I'm like racking my brain being like, who do I actually want to sit across the table for a meal with?
Myself,
myself and I. Yeah, exactly. Like, I need to be like, that's fine, rather than stressing myself out about the fact that I'm like, I'm so lonely. but yeah.
See, but this idea of doing stuff by yourself, sometimes I feel like I try sometimes I feel like I don't do stuff by myself because I'm scared, oh, people, like, what will these random people outside think just seeing me doing this by myself? But then it's like, also, sometimes it's just you in your mind thinking that people are always looking at you and thinking, when actually they probably don't even notice you, you know?
They don't give a fuck. They're in their own little world.
Yeah.
Focusing. I guess that's about our own self-consciousness to a certain extent. And once you break that, it's a freeing experience, but also like, yeah, it's difficult to get the balance between, you know, being able to spend time alone and, you know, reminding yourself that you're not actually alone, even though you're spending time alone. Especially now when we're coming out of lockdown, where the feelings of being alone may have been real. It might even carry over into when you're even with people that you feel lonely in a large room. I don't know, but yeah, it's a process. But like, what do you think would be an activity that you feel you could start off as doing it solo? Kieran, I don't even want to ask what he's gonna say, because I said doing it solo, and I was like, that's a bit of a pause. But Kieran, now let's go to you for what you have to say on that real quick.
First off, that says more about you than me, brother. So
that ain't no problem. That ain't no problem.
Secondly, Moni, what I was going to say is start off with the cinema, because I was going to say it for an unpopular opinion. Movies is not a group activity.
True.
It's not.
Oh yeah.
I've been going cinema by myself, and then I think, I don't know when, it wasn't me deciding, let me take care of myself. I think it really started as like, why am I here with you? This don't make no sense. I'm not here. We're not here to talk. We're not here to catch up. I met you to see the movie, and when this movie's done, we're leaving. So, I got myself cinema cards. It's like you said, whether you're at home, you got some time for your evening, if it's in the weekend, and maybe you woke up early on with body clock just made you rise out of bed. Just take yourself to the cinema. It's for yourself, especially now. Now is the best time to do it because we have to social distance in the cinema anyway. So there's already a suspicious gap between people. So if you do have that complex where what will others think about it, like, yeah, you might think, oh man, maybe that's not really a logical thought process, but it's something you need to grow out of. It's not something that you can just, man, stop thinking like that. You need to grow out of that mentality. And now, just take yourself to the cinema. I'm not too sure what's coming out at the moment, but it's just like what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours of just you in a dark room where no one's focusing on you. We're looking up there. Absolutely take yourselves to the cinema. I love it. I've been doing it for years, and I'm not ready to turn back. If I've seen a movie with other people, it's because I've already seen it already. I've already seen it. So just yes.
Actually, that's
people saying I'm not watching the movie for the first time with you. Do you know how many times I've gone to a movie? Moni can testify. Gone to a movie that I've been waiting to see, and then there's this commentary. Like, oh man, did you know? Blah blah. I don't care. If I wanted to know, I would have done my research before this movie. I just want to watch this situation, or even this. Oh, did you see? It's only one direction we're looking at, my guy. Of course I saw. We all saw. Get off my arm.
Especially during horror films, this is me.
I think that there are certain things, like certain films, where if there's been a build up, there's people I'd want to go and see it with, just because it's like it's a mutual, like it's a joint experience.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I've been to see all the like Avengers films that have come out. I've gone with Kieran because I know that he's going to appreciate that experience. But then we've made it a thing. Like it's been that we've had that opportunity after it's finished to sit and discuss it. Like we've gone out for a meal afterwards or something like that, or you know, gone for a walk. Like, and that experience is a joint thing. But you know, if I want to go see like some art house film that like I've been wanting to watch, something. Did you know I'm a film student? Kind of experience, like I'm like, you know what, maybe I will go on my own. I mean, I've been going to coffee shops and sitting in coffee shops on my ones for years. Why not go and take myself, like with the meal thing, like what's different about sitting in a coffee shop on my own with my laptop and doing work or something? than like sitting in a nice restaurant.
I guess social constructs. The social
Maybe
construct is
Yeah.
Yes, Marianna.
one.
I was just saying, maybe it's a laptop.
No, actually, that's you're laughing,
Yeah.
but that's true. Like, I think you can't really go to Nando's with a laptop.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. Yeah, you can't.
Stop the cap. Done the math, man. Yeah. I'm
No,
not there when I was
exactly.
doing my degree, fam.
But no, I think
Nando's, Darrius?
Nando's and essay was a real thing. I can't even lie.
Nando's and
wow.
essay.
I wanted wings, okay? I wanted much. I was
Yeah.
not sitting in that library until like third year. Then I sort of got into it. But in second year, I was just like, wings are what I need, not a stuffy library chair. But that's beside the point.
yeah, I mean, this new
Hmm.
vegan place has opened up like not that far from me, and now I'm having this conversation with you, and I've been waiting for like, oh, I'm gonna wait. Who's gonna go with me? But why am I waiting?
Exactly.
Yeah, why are you waiting?
Let me
Kieran,
just
you
get up.
vegan? You gonna go with her?
Moni, you do not need to wait.
Go on your ones.
You
Get
can
your
just
meat
go.
vegan.
Let me
Yeah,
just
get your
go
meal.
get some
The
food
light has
on my
turned
own.
green. You must go.
Be the change we want to see in the world. Start with the man in the mirror.
I'm gonna go for coffee on my own tomorrow, and then I'm gonna follow it up with like.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up. There we
I'm still
go.
trying to work out why Kieran was putting
Progress.
Michael Jackson, but okay.
Make it make sense.
We love that.
Make
We
it
love
make
that.
sense.
We love that
Only
progress.
change in lives. Lovely. Moni, I'm proud of you. You should.
Thank you.
You should.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Ah,
Hmm.
that was a beautiful moment we shared together, guys. I
Yeah.
love
All
this.
captured on camera. All captured right here, right now. In this recording.
People
Make
go
it
watch
make
us.
sense.
With the other
The mind is really, really baffling.
Oh, but yeah, this is what I was thinking about, right? Because see how you were mentioning just before, like how there's a distinction between extrovert and introvert. But do you really think there actually is that such strict labels actually exist?
No.
Pardon me?
Some you I feel like it's like there's a spectrum. You skew one more, may skew one way more, or another way more, and it's changeable depending on what's going on for you.
But can
Some
you not just be
people
like a neither?
Yeah, which is ambivert, which means that you just sort of there.
Oh.
That smile from Kieran was there.
Okay, never mind.
Smile's
never mind.
amazing. Thank you very much. You got my face, Darrius.
I was gonna say anything. I was just actually gonna say it was just very cheeky, you know.
This is reflection, perfection. So
Okay.
anyway, Marianna, I'm sorry that you was interrupted.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay.
I do believe, like Darrius said, it is a spectrum. But in regards to what you're saying about these labels, are they constructs or do they hold any real significance? They make sense to me because the definition of ambivert is something that I was like, you know what, I was thinking that I couldn't really put my finger on it, but what you just said, that's me. That's exactly how I feel. But that's not something I knew about for years and years and years all my life. It's something that I discovered.
But how did you discover it? Like, who diagnosed it and who came up with this idea? Like, somebody.
BuzzFeed.
So BuzzFeed is your doctor.
I said, man said the internet fed him this information, and he just took it.
It's an interesting idea because it's like we have these terminologies, and everybody I know personally uses them. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm an introvert. Like I was like wanting to go out the other day in the sun, right? And my friend was like, do it. And I was like, I'm a fucking extrovert. I need people like to go out in the sun. You're making that face, yeah, but it's true. Like it's that thing of me, like, not you. That thing of me, like, I'm like, I just want to, if I see sun, my serotonin be popping and I just want to like celebrate with people. Like, I want to party. But like, why? I know for a fact that if I did one of those tests, it would not come up with. I've done them and it has not come up with extrovert.
This is the thing.
I hate, in that same way Darrius said earlier, I hate people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this is okay. So extending this idea of labels and these like constraining definitions of things, I was thinking about it in relation to mental health as well. So for example, you have you know, you have these diagnoses, which are things like, you know, bipolar, depression, schizophrenia, and so on. So oh, sorry, I don't know if I'm going too deep.
No. Go on. Keep going.
Right. But I was like thinking, well, this is not just, these aren't really my own thoughts. These are like based on other people's as well. But it's like they aren't, mental illnesses are not diagnosed in the same way that, and that's an illness like cancer, for example, is diagnosed or defined even. Like cancer is defined literally on the basis of abnormal cells in the body, right? And the symptoms of that will be, you know, being, I don't know, feeling tired, feeling sick, blah, blah, blah. But if you told a doctor, I'm facing these symptoms, the doctor cannot say that is cancer. The doctor has to then do a scan to then find out the real definition of cancer, which is that you have some weird abnormal cells within you, right? Now with mental illnesses, there is no, like literally it's purely defined by the symptoms. It's purely defined by, oh, you're talking really fast, you haven't slept, you're saying that you're seeing shapes move about, you're saying that you're hearing voices, blah, blah, blah. But you cannot do an X-ray and actually find out, you cannot do an MRI scan and actually find out what is wrong with the person, because these names, these labels have literally been created on the basis of just all they do is just collect a bunch of symptoms together, and they've just collated them, and that's the name of those collection of symptoms. But then obviously it's also flexible because you've got random symptoms which don't exist in the definition, some which do, and so on.
Also the fact that like the line between anxiety and depression is the period in which you could be in like a low state of mood. So if you have this thing of not being able to get out of bed and like not be able to do daily tasks based on your mood, if it lasts 14 days or longer, you're diagnosed with depression. But if it could be up to 10 days where you're literally able to do fuck all and you're not depressed. But it's like, I just had 10 days and I had an essay due and I wasn't able to even leave my bed.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I just have anxiety.
Exactly, right? So how can it be someone else to tell you what your own experiences are, what your own mental experiences are, when no one can access your mind except for yourself?
Yeah.
Right?
I guess, how do I put that? What that made me think of is just this whole idea of, you know, when people say, especially as teenagers, like, oh, no one understands me. Like, there is an element of that just sort of rings true in what you were saying about mental health defined lines being like 4 days, or a case of these sort of symptoms that they say for each specific thing is, it's not clearly defined. There's no sort of like, you know, exactly that, you know, I can prove this by doing an MRI scan to say that, you know, you've got this, or that, you know, I've got this physical symptom that's shown up clearly enough for me to, that's, you know, it is interesting and it is complicated and it is difficult, but like, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Do you think that the labels are helpful? Like literally having, like, let's say, being such things bipolar. Do you think that is helpful for these labels to exist and for people to associate themselves with them, or for people to told? I think
it's more helpful. In some ways, it's helpful. In some ways, it's not. In some ways, it's helpful for the people doing the treatment to work out, okay, these are the things that I can possibly do in order to help a person. But then it's not helpful for those people that feel that they don't fit into any specific box, or if they may fit into 4 boxes or 2 boxes, or just, you know, there isn't a box for them to fit in. And I feel that sort of constriction by, you know, the science of psychology and psychiatry it's a difficult one to navigate, and it's always been one that sort of interested me to a certain extent, how they sort of put people into boxes. And yeah, it's complicated indeed, but here we are discussing it. Do you know what, actually, speaking of mental health, do you know something that actually sort of makes me very anxious is the 1984 style state that we're living in.
Don't. Oh.
No. Like, the only reason I'm saying this because, like, even today, like, I was in the car with my dad, and they've put up a new set of cameras, which we didn't even notice, on one of the roads near Wandsworth Common. to like watch the traffic and stuff. But I'm just like, and even my dad was in the car just saying to himself, like, I wonder what else they're watching, what other things they're picking up. Are they listening to us? I really wish I had the foil to make my foil hat, but I don't have any foil in the house. So, are you watching us? FBI, are you there? We're out here like discussing all the secrets of the universe out here. Remember that time when we did the conspiracy at the end, where we were talking about Diana was not an accident. And I'm surprised I haven't been taken away. Do you remember that episode, Kieran?
Yes, of course.
He doesn't remember at all.
Mhm.
Clearly, he
Is
doesn't
that
watch other
episode
podcasts.
3?
Yeah, this was way back, but like, this is a real thing. And like, I think what got me is firstly Black Mirror. Black Mirror gets me every time in terms of like, you know, depicting the reality of technology and them just getting onto us and watching us. Like, even like, I think it was Metalhead season 5, the little metal dogs, they're already getting used in them for the police. And I've got another article for you guys. So Marianna hasn't experienced this yet, but I go online regularly and find some unverified news sources.
Uh-oh.
This one is from Uniland, and it's about AI. I'm actually
Moni's yawning already.
literally, fuck all you hoes. Man's out here yawning.
Did you just say?
I said fuck all you hoes. Man said
Okay.
yawning.
You said fuck all me hoes.
What are you, a pimp sailor? What
Pass.
kind of sailor is that?
Pause and pass. Anyway, so wait. This one is from, I got this earlier this year in March. So it's about drones with most advanced AI ever could track your movements, could soon be used by police. Even they're like, man must stuttering because this is real shit, bro. They're gonna be watching us.
Many uncomfortable levels and layers to that.
Yes,
Kieran has his finger up.
Darrius, what you were talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that the plot for Captain America 2?
Well, yeah. Basically.
Alright. So you were
Winter
saying,
Soldier.
so these drones that are capable of mass surveillance have the functional capability to monitor literally the steps that you take.
Yep.
And do they have any offensive properties? Like...
Well, so far, based on this article, there's no offensive properties. It's just tracking properties. So to give you,
CCTV do that already.
Hey, let me read this to you because I know that you're a computer science student. Maybe you can make more head or tail of this.
That's amazing.
You did not read the profiles. Anyway, we did ask questions about what stop the cap. Anyway, drones with hugely advanced artificial intelligence may be used by local law enforcement in the near future. Local meaning the US, but let's not lie, everyone's going to be copying the US at some point or other. The drones created by a California-based company, Skydio, have been trialed by police and successfully helped SWAT teams bring down 2 armed suspects. The incident, which took place last year, so last year being 2020, saw the team involved in a 5-hour standoff with 2 gunmen who were holed up in a large suburban house. SWAT then used the Skydio drone to weave through the woods where the house was located to get footage of the 2 culprits. 2 men handed themselves in 30 minutes later. I don't know what happened between them being spotted and them handing themselves 5 minutes later, but I'm assuming it involved a lot of bullets. But anyway, long story short, is the drones cost as little as $1,000, so it means that they can be mass produced efficiently, I'm assuming. And in terms of what they can do is that they don't even need to fly them in any sort of capacity. Like, how do I put this? Has anyone seen RoboCop?
No.
I watched it today. That's the only reason I'm there. In RoboCop, the whole RoboCop, he can like scan loads of things at different times and identify faces by looking at the whole of the US criminal database. He's able to recognize non-threats. He's able to recognize gender, weight, all these things at once. And based off what I've read, that's what this drone is able to do. Now, I know they're able to do. Wait,
a series of noises coming through this.
There's one word that's just coming to my head, and I just.
What's the word that's coming to your head?
I feel like
say it.
Racism. What? Wait,
what?
Racism will come into it eventually. I feel like in
I'm
this
just
case,
thinking, as soon as you said recognized threat, I'm just feeling like there's some programming malfunctions.
it's ready to happen. Like, you know.
Yeah. If the robots. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's pause. Yeah.
What?
Are we just wearing my clothes online on a podcast?
Wow,
Is that yours?
That's my jumper.
Marianna.
Clearly, there are more important things than if anyone's watching us. It's like, who's watching Moni and Marianna? Anyway,
I have trust and faith. I have faith in people. And
to the
that's why I need
topic.
to stop.
I can't.
No.
Being watched.
Sometimes just don't ask for the clothes back as well.
just listen. I'm gonna tell you,
FBI, if you're watching, there's a criminal right here. You know, take her.
Baby girl, this belongs to me now. Okay, that's what she just told you, Moni.
Yeah, that's not your clothes no more.
Move on with your little life. Yeah,
that's your girl Marianna's clothes.
So I stop telling people this belongs to you.
Here's my question: do you steal tops and bottoms, or is it just the tops?
Oh, I've stolen both.
We ain't got no bottoms here. Anyway, let's go back.
So Darrius, that was you. You wanted to speak.
No, but there are problems. There are problems with artificial intelligence. Because there are many problems. First of all, they rely on data purely. They use data. They operate on data. Data is their language. It's their food. It's everything that they use. And data itself is supplied by human beings. The real question is, who is creating the AI and who is feeding the data? Who is creating the data in the first place? And it's always bound to be biased because human beings themselves are biased. So you cannot expect AI, which is fed to by humans and their own biases, the data that is, etc., to not. And you can't expect the AI to not be biased as well. And it's very dangerous because as soon as you have a machine which you assume is not biased and you rely on its decisions by claiming that all the outcomes are fair, and then you have terrible things happen, but then you're still saying it's fair, there's going to be a little logic gap, and it's going to allow for even more atrocities to happen in a way, I think. I don't know.
That is A1 logic, I can't lie. For me, it's the bias for me. It's the danger to my life for me. I can't be having it. Like, as soon as they're saying they're tracking, I'm just like, I don't want to be tracked, please. I don't want to be... What are you going to say, Kieran? Because I know you're itching to say something.
So, first thing, if you haven't already, go on your Netflix and watch The Social Dilemma. It will explain.
I've seen bits of that.
Everything. I don't know, Marianna, are you nodding your head or?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It's
listen.
Yeah.
When I finished it, I was there like, turn off your phone now. I dug into my settings, changed all sorts, turned it off. It was.
What did you turn off?
Everything. So like even little things like, say example, you click on an article on Instagram or Facebook, or if you are visiting a website. Just that little pop-up that says we use cookies on that site. If you're just not in such a hurry to just get it down and you just click agree without thinking too much, if you just take literally another 3 seconds and just click on the other option and then just disagree. You're not allowed to use cookies on my devices. Things like that. Because I think, what's his name? I don't know if anyone still watches Dragon's Den. Don't know if anyone's still into that. Sam Jones was like, so far, he's like being credited as having the best pitch on Dragon's Den ever. He's the CEO of a company called Generate, so Gen R8. And he essentially, it's an answer to this current crisis we're having in regards to data, in regards to privacy, in regards to just invasion of privacy as well. And essentially what his platform aims to do is turn data into a form of currency. So if these companies want to access your data, if they insist that you accept their cookies, is there some kind of compensation you as a user can get to them? Because really and truly, and he was explaining this using a bunch of social networks as an example. What do you think the product is? What is the USP, unique selling point of Facebook, of Instagram? It isn't direct messaging. It isn't pictures and filters. It's not being able to follow celebrity. It's you. They have access to you. You are actually their unique selling point because they have everywhere you've checked into, the movies you've liked, the people you follow, this and the first. So much information about you being uniquely stored, exclusively stored, I should say, on their platforms. And then that is what they use. That's the USP they use to go out to third parties and gain this revenue. And so, if you have any time, I highly recommend, if you don't want to read up on Generate, just watch the Dragon's Den pitch. It's like 5 minutes long and it's fantastic. But I feel like much more now, especially with things like Facebook being brought to court, people being more aware of the injustices at Amazon, people seeing, I think it was either last year or 2019, where a lot of, I guess, super giants in the tech business, so Google, Facebook, this, that, and the third, were being taken to court because they've literally started to monopolize online. And it's that for trade. I feel like at least us as a generation and like the generations around us are much more switched on to the happenings of this. So yes, it's a problem indeed. If you haven't seen The Social Dilemma, watch it. If you don't know about Sam Jones and Generate, find out. But yeah, I remember I was part of a think tank called Think Nation. Hi Lizzie, hope you're watching. And we went to a membership club, some economics club, years ago, and we did a debate. We hosted a debate on artificial intelligence. It was so much fun, and I feel
What was the
like
result?
it was years ago, bro. I couldn't remember. I just remember I had a good time.
Just
I had
asking,
a good
just
time.
asking.
That was fun. But I feel like due to a lot of works of fiction, so movies, so comic books, so novels, things like that, we already have our perception of AI. Even before this whole thing with data being taken, this, that, and the third, and the ethics behind that. Just the idea of, what was that robot called? Sophia, the one that they built with face and has citizenship and this, that, and the third. I'll get a picture of Sophia the robot. You guys,
Sophia scared
Oh,
the
yeah, I think-
shit out of me.
Zach, if you saw Sophia and was like, Will Smith made that movie years ago. We don't need
Innit?
this. You guys don't learn nothing. And so this narrative has been spelled out for us time and time again. And maybe that's where our perception is. Really and truly, is it not just a tool? Does AI itself have a motive? Does technology have an agenda?
Not yet.
Well,
Fed the wrong data, clearly it might.
I guess the whole point of technology in the first
Great
place is to try and make humans' lives easier, or to try and make not just easier, but also like make our lives better, like make us feel happier and so on. But then the next question is like, will technology continuously improve its intelligence like so fast, so quickly, to a point where it becomes far more intelligent than us, and then maybe even gains consciousness, and then maybe takes over the world? And
wait,
controls
hold
things in a way that we don't even know.
Pause.
Marianna, what
Is that science fiction or science fact? I just want to ask.
Darrius, what Marianna has just described is what's known in, I guess, the STEM community, or I don't know if it's sci-fi or if it's science fiction or science fact, but it's known worldwide as singularity, the time of the event where AI reaches that level of, I guess, consciousness was advanced enough where
Yes.
it becomes a problem. And
I mean,
like you were saying, Marianna, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So yes, like I'm sure the people
said the road to hell
came
was
up with
paved
this
with good
invention
intentions.
had good plans. Good plans. I'm sure they they intended for it to benefit so many, but where there's power, there can be corruption. Where there's leverage, it can be manipulated.
It's with everything.
Wherever works. But like I said, the tool or the builder's fault.
As always.
I mean, metal. No one had a problem with metal until someone shaped it into a sword.
I mean, we all watched. I mean, I don't know all, but you know, Age of Ultron, like.
Age of Ultron was not the best representation of artificial
No,
intelligence.
that's why.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it is.
Ultron itself, the concept and like its narrative, 100% see where Moni's going with this. Watching, like, I felt like watching Age of Ultron, we all sat there like, how do you not see this coming? You called yourself a futurist, Mr. Stark. You telling me?
No, but that's the story. No, but that is mentioned within it. It's like,
Yeah.
you did this, like. And then, you know, he tries to make out like it's not his fault, but everybody's telling him, being like,
Yeah.
you stupid.
He is stupid.
You're stupid.
But that's a whole different realm in terms of.
Don't speak ill of the dead, please, Darrius.
What he did was stupid. Let's not cap. But then again, all the Avengers did stupid shit. But like that's again, we're in a different realm here.
Bear in mind, Tony Stark segue, tangent, sorry. He was suffering from PTSD. Okay, he was having his own anxiety from the attack on New York, and then that premonition that Wanda gave him of a second invasion. He was like, nah, can't do it, cannot do it. We're building this thing.
It was a mistake he made under pressure. Everyone made mistakes. That's what I said. It was still stupid. That's not what I said.
But then we ended up with Vision, and diamonds are made under pressure. So
eventually, they made good of a bad situation. But like,
diamonds are made under pressure, but also with expectation. So nothing's perfect.
I feel like, as we were saying before, that all good things can be used for bad.
The people need to die for beautiful things to be made.
Let's not lie. Like, bad things will, like, good things will be made, and someone will find some way to pervert it. It's, as Sakiran was saying, like, the matter of singularity of any AI, in any general case, if it does get to that, it will be the person who made it that would have been the cause for our demise in some capacity if it turns evil and bad, based on at least what I'm hearing today. Like, I'm not gonna blame the creation. I can blame the creator. I mean, we all read Frankenstein.
I mean, we know what Frankenstein is.
But like, that's the sort of like just bring it back to something so sort of basic. After what we've spoken about, it is a case of who is the villain in that case? The person who made the monster, or the monster itself, who just was like trying to find its position. But I don't know. I mean, we're not at that stage. I mean,
there's like an automatic assumption that actually will end up being bad, but is that just because of like sci-fi movies and?
Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, there's so many things which humans could be like already susceptible to, like so many bad things, you know, as we're talking about mental illnesses. Also, there's other things like, you know, as we're talking about cancer, as we're talking about like other types of illnesses, motor neuron diseases and so on. And there's so many like bad things that already happen. Sure, maybe technology could actually help to alleviate these bad things, but at the same time, maybe actually it's not even just about like thinking of it as technology is a bad thing, but it's something that could completely change our own idea of living.
It has.
Yeah.
It transformed our lives. I mean, again, I say, it's not the tool, is to be like, even like we were talking about Facebook earlier and data. It's only now they're being taken to talk when Facebook's been around for 2 decades. All the rest of them are at least anywhere between 7 and 10 years old, and only now are people starting to think about, oh, what about our data? What about all this information that we're just giving away to these companies, and they're now profiting of it? And in some ways, it can be dangerous, it's not something that people even considered at a point. It only becomes bad, you know, after a while, after people have sussed it out, after some time, even with the whole sort of smartphone thing, they were booming. Then all of a sudden we get to like here and now, oh, they're tracking our phones, they're looking, and everyone's like, but the world is a distrustful place as it is. I've learned that through Corona. But
speaking about social media, can I just see something right now? I'm gonna like name a social media and just like basically like indicate whether or not you use it. I just want to see a thing, okay?
Ready.
All right. Let's start with the basic Facebook.
Define use it.
You have
like,
it.
do you have a Facebook account?
Yeah, of course I have it. We all have it.
That you look at regularly. Okay.
Cool. No, my stew is spilled all over the table. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he's got Facebook. Don't worry about that.
I have Ghanaian food as well.
Cool. Twitter.
Kind of.
Again, kind of.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darrius can't even cap on that one. Look, you're lifting up your fist. It looks like you have it. So just don't indicate. TikTok.
No.
What else? Have I missed anything? I'm gonna bring in LinkedIn.
WhatsApp.
LinkedIn.
I said LinkedIn.
I mean,
LinkedIn is the worst social media, but yeah, I use that.
really?
Why is it? No, wait. Before we move on, why is it the worst social media?
Oh, you just have to download it, scroll 1 second, and you will see a sub story that was created. Okay, no, never mind. Let me not be mean.
Marianna, welcome to the podcast. We are thankful to have you. She did not cap. I'm not even gonna lie. That's very true. But anyway, next one. What were you going to say?
WhatsApp. Let's go WhatsApp. Yeah.
We all have WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's so many chats.
Let's be like, I don't think I'd consider WhatsApp.
Yeah, I was about to
say. In the
not
sense that it is just a kind of.
I love her.
It's a way of like just being
Like
able,
that.
but like I think that since WhatsApp brought in stories, it's like blurred the lines.
That was during the time
That's not
where
old
everyone
people.
brought in stories.
But
That was
uses
ridiculous.
WhatsApp stories? Let's be honest. But I have like two
Kieran
people
does.
I know.
That's offensive.
Yeah,
to
but
my
he
mouth.
does
use
it
it
like
if my friend's got an event coming. I'm here
Yeah,
to
he does it like
promote
once every
what you've
6
got going on.
months.
He does it enough for it to be like
Okay, let me see what
Once
else have
every
we
6
got. I'm
months,
just
there is.
double checking my phone.
too much. It shouldn't be a tool. I can't remember.
I think that's it. Discord. Can we include Discord as like a
We can
Oh,
include
I'm-
Zoom as well, technically.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah,
No,
I think
we're
that's it.
Zoom, Discord.
I mean, I'm pretty much on. If I haven't named it, it's because I haven't heard of it. But I have an account for pretty much every social media that there is. But
I'm gonna
that's
be honest.
because I use them all for very different things. And I've sort of used them at different times. There are ones that kind of fade in and out. Like, Facebook, I have a lot of international family, and that's the way of keeping in touch with them. Twitter I use for more like political points of views. I follow a lot of political Twitter pages and a lot of that kind of more serious stuff. When things happen in the world, like Twitter's the place to go to get a discourse on what's going on.
So is Reddit.
Reddit, yeah. Who uses Reddit?
Oh, me.
Is Reddit a social media?
Yeah, I would say.
Yes.
It is.
It's so anonymous. Like,
Yeah, we don't use Reddit anymore, do we?
What do you mean?
why are you trying to be for? That's a you problem. I still use Reddit.
Reddit is
We
good.
don't-
It's so much better than Twitter.
Bearing
It's
in
so
mind
much
that
better
one
than Twitter.
page, and I'm not going to disclose about what happened, but
Yeah.
that one page, the fact that Reddit did absolutely nothing to get that taken down.
Yeah, we don't rock with Reddit
Oh,
no
yeah,
more,
that's
bro.
true.
No.
That's true.
So yeah, I think there's a real it's an interesting sort of, for me personally, I have like a different reason for each social media. I don't overlap.
What if it was all put into one?
And which
I
one
don't
would that
think
be?
that
though?
would work, and I think that would be very, very stressful. Like, I can not imagine a Facebook Snapchat hybrid. Like, what the hell would that look like?
It's not like they're all kind of a
Instagram.
hybrid of each other.
Yeah,
Instagram
like
stories,
But I don't
lives, and
like. I don't use. like Instagram, I have much more people have access to my feed. Snapchat is very minimal in terms of who I actually have that access to. You know what I mean?
I think since Snapchat started bringing in private stories, it's been able to, you have much more agency. I mean, you have control over who follow it or who you give your snap to, but I think like private stories really help encapsulate that. Now it's literally just who you want. What do you want people to see?
Yeah.
You guys miss, like, see how like a 2-year-old, right, has had like a 3-year-old has had access to social media since birth, basically. Do you kind of wish you had that to have like a sort of personal diary of your whole life?
I remember giving my email out to people and waiting for them to write to me. And
oh, you were that kid on MSN?
No, not MSN. Email.
Did you guys
never had MSN.
You weren't even an MSN person.
Wow, that's tight.
I literally gave people. No, I didn't use.
Wait, young people, huh? What do you mean? What do you mean?
But like in the contrast of like we had MSN, but like we were lucky to have like we grew up on shared computers.
Talk us truth, woman. Talk your truth, man.
We did.
Like I had an hour a day that I was allowed to be on the computer.
Okay, I didn't have that sort of level of suffering.
No, I did, and so I had Skype.
I see your problem.
But also the other thing is these kids aren't gonna remember Habbo Hotel, Club Penguin.
Oh man!
They started off
the throwback.
They started off with Instagram, and it all winds back to the mental health stuff. Like, there's a reason that pretty much all 14-year-olds are being diagnosed or like are on like medication. Let's be honest, because like the world that they're growing up in is toxic as fuck.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
it's a toxic world.
It just gets more toxic.
My parents are on Twitter and Facebook and somewhat Instagram, and that's about it. And then like, you know, WhatsApp and that.
But it's also toxic for older people as well, isn't it?
In a way, but then my sister, I see snaps coming through her and I'm like, who's that? And she's like, I don't know. And random people.
I don't know.
Yeah, random people they have group chats. They have like London group chats. So they have like group chats.
That is mad.
She's talking.
That can never be me.
Yeah,
if I don't know you, get out of here.
For context to the listeners, my sister is currently 17, but I'm talking about stuff from when she was like 14, 15.
Listen, she's mad snitching.
Yeah.
She's mad snitching on family.
In a second, but she would have group chats where like there would be people in schools that were in North London like being added to this chat, and it's like, you know, someone, you add them in, and it's like all these random people. Yeah, it's nice in the sense that I think about it and I'm like, oh yeah, that might be nice because then you can meet people and you can have big London motives, but at the same time it's like, no. But Kieran, what did you want to say?
Darrius, why are you pausing on big London motives? Darrius, what?
When you say it like that, anyway.
Like what, bro? Like I said it the same way it was said before. Like,
no, I don't know why. When you said it, it was like, wow, but that's a crazy statement. Anyway, no, continue. Go on.
I wish you would.
I was doing pause because I was doing this like time out, never meet them up, never do big London motives.
3 points. First of all, to Moni's first point, respectfully disagree. Not to Moni. Yeah, I believe Moni when she says, you have different platforms and they all have different purposes. As a general rule, I don't think that's the case. I've been in a room where people literally open, close, as in they cycle through their apps, check the same thing. Or even been in a situation where you have like 4 different conversations going on in different apps with the same people. It might be a different conversation, but you're talking to the same people at the same time. And secondly, I know I said no to damn near all the social media. Yes, I have Facebook, but that's because I had it as a kid. And if I didn't have it as a kid, I wouldn't have it now. Promise you. Because, yeah, we had Club Penguin. I didn't have MSN. It started with BBM. Because when everyone was on BBM? BlackBerry, no.
You had a BlackBerry?
When everyone was on the BlackBerry wave, yeah,
had a
all of a
Nokia
sudden,
in the
that
back
was
in
for
the day.
me, that was when it started. Because all of a sudden, instead of people coming outside, chasing each other, playing Pokemon cards, playing football, this, that, and the third, all of a sudden, everyone was like that.
That's true.
All started at the same time, and that's when I was like, I don't want no part of it. Now, my mum wanted the family to have BlackBerry because at this time there was no WhatsApp. So the idea of there being a free messaging service just
An
for
instant
safety, being
messaging
in
service.
an instant messaging service as well,
Yeah.
and it's cost effective. You can have it all on a family plan or something like that. But BBM was free anyway. But just for safety, she wanted that feature. I didn't want it because I saw how everyone else was looking, and I didn't want to be a part of that situation. Thirdly, linking to what you said about mental health, this is a question for all of you. Don't you ever stop and think why you feel the way you do when you take time away from your phone?
Oh, 100%. 100%. But I think there's that level of availability as well. And I even get it with my family in that I had there was one day like a few months ago where I switched off my phone for the whole day. And the entire panic I had, the rush through my body when I switched my phone on, because the amount of messages that were coming through from my mother was insane. And I was like, there's this thing of like being available to people. And it, I feel like this episode has had a really interesting way of like everything links in together, because it's that thing of like, I would much rather just be like spending time with people in person than being like, yo, drop me a text at any point. Like during the pandemic, like I probably spent more time on the phone to Kieran than I would have seen him or been in contact with him before the pandemic. But it's because we have that access to each other through a device. But I love that feeling when you spend the day with someone and your phone is in your bag the entire time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and you're like, I have not touched my phone once.
A challenge would be when you go out, don't take your charger with you. Because if you're going out to hang out with people and you actually hang out with people, what you'll notice is when you come home, your phone is full of battery. It's because you haven't been using it. Because you haven't spent your entire time looking down. That's why I started practicing it. Unless I'm generally going away for like a weekend or something, the charge is staying at home. Because I shouldn't have to charge a fully charged.
Oh, I don't need to charge because
Is
I've got a OnePlus 17.
Is this a male thing? I'm just wondering, Marianna. I mean, I know you said you don't need to charge your phone, but sorry, go Darrius.
No, you were speaking.
I
So
was thinking, is this a male thing? Because I have a genuine anxiety if my phone just happens to run out of charge. I need my phone. I need find my friends available, because everybody needs to know where I am. Because if I go missing, there's more of a risk of that happening.
Exactly. That was about Moni. You basically explained your own point, essentially.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's like a male-female thing, and that men don't have that fear. But like for me, my phone, I could not touch it maybe for the whole day, but I have to have my charger just in case. And I could have days, like I've had, yes, it's nice, but what if I do have a day where I am using it? Like, even if it's just to take photos all day, like I might use it to take photos and that still drains battery. But I've had so many days where I've just been like gone back to someone's house with them so I can charge my phone. Because at least then I'm with someone and I'm not doing a solo journey. But it's an interesting point to make, in that the idea of being able to spend a day off your phone and just have a day where, or even finding a way of being able to just use like, oh, I'm happy to just have WhatsApp and just be texting those people that I'm like, actually, I realistically couldn't go a day without talking to you. Why are my boobs look like that?
Okay, let's get back on topic. Anyway, my point being, there's multiple chats of multiple people. I'm saying this. The one I have right now is work. There's at least 3.
Oh my god!
Let me finish.
No,
and
talk your truth.
Even today, I'm like, it's like I've got. And here's the thing. My old job, there's goddamn.
Kings, what's going on? In the last 2 days. There's been 2 new
And it gets
chats
worse.
for
Then
that
there's like,
place.
hold on, let me count the ones for
And I'm like,
other work. I've got 3. 3 is fine, but 2 of them keep popping off for no reason. I'm just like,
but here's the thing.
make it stop.
Like I said, so DJs in that workplace, I know which one you're talking about. Like I said, before when we was off camera, I organized an event with those people. I made a chat. The day afterwards, the day after that event had passed, chat was gone. There's no need, because what will happen is people will just continue a conversation. It will start off, thank you for coming, this, that, and the third. Then whatever jokes or running gags you had on the day will continue in the chat. Then the next thing you know, people are just using it for conversation. And then there'll be another event. And then another. And then it'll be a birthday. And then there'll be a barbecue. And then there'll be this. And then there'll be that. And then you're like, nah, brother, like this.
You need to stop.
There's no need. And then here's the cheek of people. You leave one. All of a sudden in your DMs. Are you okay? Sorry, it's just, I'm sorry. I thought, did anything happen? Did we say something? We didn't mean to upset. Nah, it's just you were saying the same thing.
In 2 different chats.
Internet
was like, stop talking. It's done for you.
I saw your message yesterday, day before, and the day before that, man, and you were talking to the same person and running the same joke. That's the only reason I led. It was just a detox.
It makes me think, like, and it takes me back to like the mental health thing. Like, do you know people? Because I remember when I was like 14, the really big thing was you'd have a group chat, and then somebody would be beefing, and then that person would make another group chat without that person they were beefing with and be like, I ain't speaking to that person anymore. We're using this one now. But it's that really awkward thing. And then you'd find out, okay, this was me, but this was because I was bullied in school. But anyway, I would find out.
Darrius, you just laugh at someone for being bullied.
No, I'm laughing because she said that was me, and I was like, yes. And then she said it's because I'm being bullied. I was like, oh shit.
No. I mean, no, what was me was I would find out that there would be group chats, or there would be the fear of there being because you'd hear about something maybe going on, and there would be the fear of, is there a group chat without me in it? Because I know that I was a petty little bitch, right? So I know that I was the person that would like make new group chats if I fell out with someone. But I was like, is this happening to me? Like, is there a group chat somewhere that doesn't? And Kira making that face makes me think that there is a group chat somewhere that doesn't have me in it.
If anything,
there already is here.
Moni, if anything, it'll be surely it would happen to the guy who doesn't have social media. I can't have that worry.
I don't have any group chats about you, don't worry. But it is that thing. There is that fear of like, are there being? But it's like, why do I care? Like, or that thing of like, I leave a group chat because of like, I'd sometimes leave group chats because like it would stress me out. My mental health would not be coping because I'd be like feeling isolated, or like I'd be like, But then I'm sitting there being like, are they talking about me? Because I can't get
Isn't it ironic? Like how like social media and so on is meant. The whole purpose is literally to connect people, but then the effects of isolation.
It people apart.
Yeah,
it drags people apart 100%. And
it fully can.
And it's like just all of it as well. It's like the amounts of times you've had like an event or something, and you've wanted to like do something, and somebody said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it," and the next thing you know, their Instagram story has them out with other people, and you're just like, "Oh, so you're busy." Because
with them.
See, without social media, you wouldn't have known. It would have still happened, but you wouldn't have known.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Or you wouldn't have even wanted to know. Like,
my rule. So I have this thing called the wedding rule, right? And you can treat group chats like the same way. For the wedding rule, my friends were getting married, and there's always the stress of the guest list. Essentially, that's like a massive concern when you're planning this particular event. And I explained it to my friends as simply put as this. If I haven't spoken to you in at least a year, you cannot be that important to me. It's just that simple. And the same thing applies with a group chat. If I haven't spoken to you in at least a year, you cannot be that important to me. 365 days and I didn't use one of them to check on how you're doing. Or vice versa. There's no way you're with and sometimes it's not a malicious thing like I don't like you anymore. Life happens. You move to different places, you meet new people, you start engaging with those new people more, and it's just a factor of life. But my rule is, if after a year there's been nothing, you can't be upset. Don't want to hear it, honestly. So
Yeah.
I apply the wedding rule to mostly group chats, but to anything where you can, anywhere you can find out applicable, really.
You know
At
what?
least a
I'm the
year.
same.
Like,
Things happen. Sometimes it is just birthday people, and I appreciate the birthday people where it's only once a year, HBD, or wishing you well, this, that, and the third. You took time out of your day to type 3 letters on your keyboard and hit send.
kind of you.
Yeah, they can't even be bothered to send you a full happy birthday, have a nice day. It's HBD. Sometimes an exclamation mark.
Fair enough.
Sometimes a nice GIF, but
it's true. But have you not been on the other side of it, where people just really pressed that? Oh
Yeah.
wow, it's just. Like, I had some friends who was there like, if you didn't wish them happy birthday, they're not gonna wish you a happy birthday. And this and I thought, man, I just wasn't online, okay? Like, really,
where I'm at.
we are friends.
No,
I think
honestly,
it depends on the person, though. It's like, have you been with
That's
that
the
friend?
thing.
Have you been friends with that person for 15 years and like they don't wish you a happy birthday?
So okay, so the
Yeah,
rule
I'd
isn't hard and
probably be
fast. If
pretty
I know
bad.
for a birthday thing, if I know that's important to you, and if I was like Moni said, if you're friends with someone for 15 years.
Oh well, that was a lovely sound.
what?
So let's continue.
What happened?
What happened? It came out of you, big guy.
I coughed.
What?
I coughed.
Okay, anyway.
You coughed. No. It wasn't that. Try more. Alvin and the Chipmunk is the sound that we were going with.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I can't use the wedding rule because more time, I know this for a fact. Again, this was learned during lockdown. All this time, like, there were people that I was just not talking to. Like, I could have probably just gone without texting a lot of people. If it hadn't been for any of these group chats, even though some of them were duplicates, if I hadn't been for any of them, like, Lord knows, would I have been that communicative? Or even with, like, not just with friends, even with family members. Like, lockdown, there were certain family members I hadn't spoken to in like a year and a half for multiple reasons. Probably because, you know, of people don't know how to use social media like that. But like, yeah, for me, like, I can't use the when rule as a hard and fast rule, or I can't. Yeah, being in contact with a person on social media is a difficult process, which is why I'm glad that we're now able to open up and I can actually go and see my family face to face and not have to deal with their interesting way of communicating over WhatsApp and all the fake news that they were sending me as well. Shout out to them, the social justice aunties of WhatsApp
University.
The University of WhatsApp. many graduates from the University of WhatsApp. Honestly, like, here's the thing, it didn't even start with WhatsApp. Remember back like early Facebook days where grandma and granddad were just there, just posting, in the garden dealing with my flowers, or posting this article, and you're looking at it, being like, auntie, what? That is from the most BS place I've ever seen in my life. What's going on? It stopped now because obviously now they've got Telegram and Parler for legamons, but like, what, like, just, I don't know, we're here now. So what sort of experiences have you had with boomers versus social media?
Boomers. I mean,
boomers specifically, but like, even like, you know, what generation are they? Gen X? Gen X?
I feel like they're the ones that are just full of, all they care about is argue. Okay, Gen X is all care about arguing people on Facebook comments. That's it, isn't it? Then boomers are just there ineptly posting every single day as part of their diary because they know they're gonna be away with the world soon. I don't really know.
Did she just say they're gonna end up dead off? I'm dead! Okay. She fully said that they're saying whatever they want because they're going to be dead soon anyway. I'm gone. I'm actually sent.
I don't know.
I'm sent.
I don't know. It's just weird because they don't fully know how to use the social medias. So then you just get yeah. I don't know.
You just get weird mix of shit coming out from them. But like, more time, social media is a useful tool until it's put into the wrong hands, is what I've learned. Because
yeah, I think that's true.
anyway.
I mean, there's a small difference between look how one grandma put in look how the roses are growing and be careful. I have a friend who works for the CIA and they've just given me a heads up that the vaccine isn't safe. Like the different things. I feel there's different levels to like how that particular generation interacts online. But like Darrius is saying, like Marianna touched on it as well, there is a generational gap between just access and ability to online, which is why I'm a massive fan of intergenerational social action. Just there's so much things we can teach them, things that we can teach us. So that's my point.
Yeah, it's true. And in person, intergenerational, or not even just in person, but like more face to face, even if it has to be through a screen.
Well, here's the thing. I'm into the business of after you cross a certain age in your life, do what you want to do. Like I don't tell old people nothing. 60 and up, you do whatever you want to do.
No, yes, actually, I don't know what. Man. Like, hold on. Now, Kieran said this. I have to do not a tangent, but I have to tell this story. Like, hey, this is gonna sound really weird, but I was in the whip with my dad yesterday. We were just driving through. Nice Saturday. And when I say I just look out the window and there's this guy with his phone out, flash on, peeing, and just.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know where it was going. I'm not sure if that's going to his camera or to Snapchat or whatever.
Was he 60?
Bro, man's hairline was finished. With the wrinkled face sagging like the cheek of one of them bulldogs, and you're saying that's acceptable? No.
100%.
I agree.
If you're old and if you're old and you still have the confidence to believe that this is something the public needs to know now, and you're sharing that online, first of all, don't flash people. It's disgusting. I don't think it's extremely legal. But if you're selling it to particular recipients who have consented to this type of material,
we could hope for that, but Lord knows that was in public. But like, I feel like what Kieran's saying is a dangerous sort of loophole for certain people to say certain racial or sexist.
That was not all I was saying.
Well, I'm saying that but based on what you're saying, that if you reach a certain age, then you feel that it's unnecessary for it to say what you need to say, then it can lead to that. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it can. It definitely can. Like
no. Because the difference there is if you are racist, you didn't start being racist at 60.
True.
That's the difference.
No, yeah, it's true. But I'm saying, like, if they're like going to be posting on Facebook, I'm not saying, and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm over 60, and I feel like this needs to be heard by the world." I don't know why I chose that as the accent for whatever gammon I was thinking of. It should have been more East, but like, yeah, I just feel like it could be a segue. But at the same time, they've probably been shouting it anyway. Now that they're just going to be doing Twitter fingers instead of going up to Jerome at the pub and saying "fuck you" to his face. But yeah, all this talk has made me very sweaty and hot.
Well, you know how I feel about sweaty people.
Why are you buying your lip? No, hold on. Moni, why are you buying your lip, fam? Disgusting.
Okay.
I think we should wrap it there.
I think you gotta go somewhere. You gotta go, bro.
Remember to wrap it.
I've been said that like 3 episodes ago about make sure you protect your it's dead now. Anyway, here we come to the end with thank you, Marianna, the queen, the goat.
Yes. Oh, it was lovely.
She's her truth. You have to get her back for season. You have to bring her back for season 2 still. Just say it. We'd love to have you. That's season 2 with Daisy as well. The 5 of us.
It's been a pleasure.
Moni looks confused, but yeah, thank you, Marianna. Thank you, Usual Suspects. And yeah, I guess this is the end.
Folks at home, take that time away from your phone.
Yeah, put your phone down. Have your Netflix and no social media days, fam. It's necessary. and stay safe when getting back up there and socializing.